Welcome to the Billy Holloway Show. Thanks to our sponsors. Today's show is being underwritten by
Legacy Funeral Home and Life Center offers an array of quality services, serving our community with compassion, care, dignity, and respect. We are dedicated to the value of compassionate funeral services and believe our first responsibility is to the families we serve. We guarantee our wide selection is unmatched, allowing you to customize a funeral ceremony or memorial tribute that truly captures your loved one's memory. Legacy takes pride in serving all families during their time of need. Let Legacy Funeral Home and Life Center help you leave a legacy well celebrated.
I've written a brand new book entitled An Encouraging Word, bringing you an encouraging word, letting you know that God is able. And I want you to be sure to support our show by picking up a copy of our brand new book just for you. And you'll be glad you did. Well, welcome to this edition of the Billy Holloway Show. We're certainly glad that you have tuned in to another edition of our show. And I tell you, we've got an exciting guest for you today. We have with us today Frank Prather. He's a music mogul. He has a record label. He's also a songwriter, producer. And Frank, welcome to our show today.
How you doing, Mr. Billy? Great to see you today, man.
All right, man. Well, let's talk about your label. You know, I have people, you know, they're always calling me and want to know, how can we get into the music business? Can you bring some guests on who know something about the business? So I'm bringing you on today because you are a record executive. Yes, so let's talk about the business just a little bit. What does it take to start a label?
First, you got to have some patience and got to have some passion first.
Okay,
just start it because
okay.
It's take a lot of work to do it. But what happened with me was it was a vision that God gave me back in 2010. And I ran from the vision all the way up to 2019. And that's when I really came in full force, ready to try to put it together and work it. And only reason why I did it because a lot of people had told me no when I went to them to try to sign on a label. Mm-hmm. And I'm just thank God for what he put inside of me with this label. And we have signed 5 good artists this year. Yeah.
So you're saying that you took a no and turned it into a yes?
I took a no and turned it into a yes.
Well, now, you know, I like that. I mean, I like that. So let's talk more about that. So you said you went to somebody else to let them hear your music, I guess, and they said no.
They said no.
Okay.
And they told me no, and I didn't stop there. I just kept praying back because I knew what God had shown me.
Okay.
And I knew by being a songwriter what God had shown me and the songs that he had given me. And so I just kept on with the vision and that kept on going.
Didn't give up.
I didn't give up. And now I'm looking at disciple fruition. That's what it is, disciple fruition. Everything you dream of shall come to pass, fruition. Disciple fruition coming to pass this year.
All right. Now, you know, I like that, Will. I keep calling you Will. I know you said your name, Frank.
Good.
I'm calling you by your first name, but you like to be called by Frank. So now, speaking of, now you decided to turn a no into a yes.
Yes, sir.
And you created your own label.
Yes, sir.
All right. So now it's more to it than just creating your label. So how did you get artists to sign to your label? And I know that's key. So let's talk about that.
So what I did was, a lot of people, when they know you,
okay,
they'll be saying, well, I can't do it because I didn't see what you have going on. But what God showed me, he said, what you do, you turn yourself into an artist first.
Okay.
So what I did, I turned myself into an artist and put myself on my label and let people watch my work.
Okay.
And once they start watching my work, everybody want to be a part. You know.
Well, you know, you kind of remind me of that song that said, "Let the work I've done, let my work speak for me."
That's right.
And so I guess you have took that concept and you've applied it. So now, to those of you all who are listening now, I want y'all to pay close attention to what Frank is saying. Now, he said that he took a no and turned it into a yes, and then he became a part of his own product. And we're going to talk more about that. So now here you are. Mm-hmm. You took a no and turned it into a yes.
Yes, sir.
You started your own label. and then you decided to produce your own song. And now, how long was it from one process to the other process? I know it wasn't easy now.
It wasn't easy, but I understand the process wasn't as long as I thought it was, because when I began to run with the vision, it seemed like God began to lay everything out, and he was putting the people in the right place. Just like he had me and you to connect, he started putting the right people at the right time in my life. So it looked like the process wasn't long when I got aboard what God was showing me. So, but when I came up with the song Smile, we went into the pandemic, and I was looking around, and right out of Albany, Fitzgerald, we had a lot of people dying with the COVID-19. So I was sitting there, and God kept saying the song Smile on Me. And the reason why I came up and redid the song Smile on Me, because when I was a little boy, you remember they used to sing that song in
God
church.
has smiled on me.
They used to sing it in
He
church.
has set me free.
And the song was really in a dark place of my life, where you were weary, wounded, and sad. But in him, I found a resting place where he had made me glad.
We better start church up in here now.
So that's where that song come from, out of the pandemic time. And he really smiled on me, because I didn't catch COVID. I was able to still get up and go to work, and I was living my life still as I was before COVID came in. And he said, I will smile on you, because I reign on the just as well as the unjust, but he reigning on me. So that's how that song came in.
Well, all right. Well, that's a testament within itself. God has definitely smiled on all of us in the midst of this pandemic. And speaking of the pandemic, since this is where we are, how has this affected your label, your artists, and even you doing music and doing concerts and things of that nature?
Well, with the concert, we haven't been doing a lot of concerts. But on the other end, it hasn't really affected us, because we've been still able to do stuff. We do virtual stuff, and we still doing a lot of. But we most are now trying to get our business in order during the time of the pandemic. Sometimes people think just because of the pandemic here, we can't do this. But to me, there was a time for us to try to get our business in order. So anybody got a vision, a business, this is the time to work on it. And then when it's all over, you can see your progress.
Well, you know, I kind of like that, because I kind of believe that this is I guess I would call it a resting period.
That's right.
And I think sometimes we have to be still.
That's right.
And listen to what God is trying to tell us, you know.
Right.
But we've got more coming up with Frank. So I want you to stick and stay with us. We got more coming up on the other side of the break. And we'll be right back with more of the Billy Holloway Show. You stay with us.
Set me free. He has been good to me.
Thanks to our sponsors, today's show is being underwritten by
Legacy Funeral Home and Life Center offers an array of quality services, serving our community with compassion, care, dignity, and respect. We are dedicated to the value of compassionate funeral services and believe our first responsibility is to the families we serve. We guarantee our wide selection is unmatched, allowing you to customize a funeral ceremony or memorial tribute that truly captures your loved one's memory. Legacy takes pride in serving all families during their time of need. Let Legacy Funeral Home and Life Center help you leave a legacy well celebrated.
I've written a brand new book entitled An Encouraging Word, bringing you an encouraging word, letting you know that God is able. And I want you to be sure to support our show by picking up a copy of our brand new book just for you. And you'll be glad you did. Well, welcome back to this edition of our show, and we are certainly glad that you have tuned in. And we're talking about music, and we have with us a music producer, a guy who has his own record label. So, Frank, let's talk more about the labeling itself. How do you decide? I know it's a gospel label, so are you going to sign other artists or other genre of music, or are you just going to stick with gospel?
Well, we're going to try to get bigger, but the first step I want to do gospel. I want at least 7 gospel artists to
Okay.
start out with, and then we want to do something more like a little R&B, because I love music. It don't even matter what gender, and we want to do some country music. We want to just give everybody who had a no in their life a yes.
All right now. All right. Now, you know, I like that, man. It's something about you, Frank, I like. Because that's what this show is all about, bringing an encouraging word and trying to tell person and show person how they can turn a no into a yes. And I just like that theme, man. You know, I'm just impressed, and I'm just at awe about what you're doing and about the artists that you have signed.
Yes, sir.
Let's talk about music in this pandemic, and gospel music in particular. You know, I listen to music all the time. I get music sent to me
Yes, sir.
all the time. And when it comes to gospel music, do you think it has gone too contemporary or not traditional enough or too traditional, or what say you?
I say really it's all about what the artist or the writer feeling at that moment.
Okay.
Sometimes I know some people say it can be too contemporary. Some people can say it be too R&B-ish. Some people can say it be too old school. But I feel like it whatever that writer feeling, because most of the time when a person write their music,
Okay.
they going through, it's a story that they telling. It's just like writing a story of your life or what. When I write music, I write on what I have been through at that moment. And that's where most of my best songs came out of the moment of what I'm going through. So I wouldn't say it's too contemporary, it's just whatever he feel. And some people like the contemporary now.
Right.
You can't be too old school, and sometimes you can mix it up. So I think all gender music good to me. It can't be too much.
Okay. Well, for somebody who's listening to our show and they have an idea, how do they transpose that idea and get that idea to you?
Well, first of all, if I got somebody right now just like that. They called me on the other day, and they had been trying to do the same thing, sign on a label. They said, I just want to get to the point where I can get out there a little more. So they send me their songs, and I listen to their songs, but I pray about who I bring into my label. Because everybody come on your label won't be good for it. So you got to have somebody who really, and if I can see that they can get with the vision that God gave me, and I try to sign that person. If I can't see that they gonna follow the vision from the off rip, I won't even mess with it.
Okay. Well, and I think that's key, that you have to have like-minded people.
That's right.
For any project or anything that you're doing,
Yes,
in order
sir.
for it to work and in order for it to gel right. Well, when we hear about music and record labels, a lot of people, they want to be independent.
That's right.
So what are the pros and cons in being an independent artist, having your own label or a corporate label, should I say?
Well, an independent artist, I started out independent because I didn't want nobody to take from me. So basically what I'm saying is, most of the time when you sign with a label, sometimes you don't get no royalties, you don't get no publishing. But when you sign with Disciple Fruition, how God gave it to me, he say, treat everybody fairly how you would want to be treated. So when I do my contracts on my label, what I do is my artists get 40% of their publishing. The record label gets 60%. We not binding you down to a long, drawn out contract. You sign for 3 years. You get to walk and after you want to in 3 years, and you get your publishing, your master. You get everything back at the end of your term in 5 years. Some labels will hold your music for years before they even release it. Some of them, you'll be dead and they still haven't released it. So we try to do everything fair. So that's basically what you want to do with a label. You want to treat people as if they would, like you get treated, not trying to just beat nobody out of anything.
Okay. Well, I know there's a business side of anything, and I know that a lot of times we kind of miss the business side when it comes to music and, and trying to own it and trying to get it back.
Yes,
and we're going to take a break, and we're going to come back with more from Frank. He's going to tell us more about that business side, because you've got to know the business of the music. So again, we're going to take a break and come back with more from Frank right after you hear this on the Billy Holloway Show. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Welcome to the Billy Holloway Show. Thanks to our sponsors. Today's show is being underwritten by
Legacy Funeral Home and Life Center offers an array of quality services, serving our community with compassion, care, dignity, and respect. We are dedicated to the value of compassionate funeral services and believe our first responsibility is to the families we serve. We guarantee our wide selection is unmatched, allowing you to customize a funeral ceremony or memorial tribute that truly captures your loved one's memory. Legacy takes pride in serving all families during their time of need. Let Legacy Funeral Home and Life Center help you leave a legacy well celebrated.
I've written a brand new book entitled An Encouraging Word, bringing you an encouraging word, letting you know that God is able. And I want you to be sure to support our show by picking up a copy of our brand new book just for you. And you'll be glad you did.
Could I testify? I came to Jesus just as I was, weary, wounded, and sad. I found in Him a sweet old resting place, for He had made me glad. All I'm trying to tell you, God has smiled on me. He has set me free. He really been good. He's been good to me. God has, yes, He has smiled on me. Smiled on me. Can I get a witness right here?
I love the Lord. He heard my cry. He did every groan. As long as I live, when trouble rise, I'll hasten till He out of darkness into the marvelous light.
He's sure been good.
Took me by my hand and led me, yes He did.
He made a way out of no way.
I just wanna thank Him for all He done for me.
God has smiled on me. He smiled on me.
He smiled on me. Yes He has.
God has smiled.
He smiled and He set me free.
God has smiled.
Do I have a witness?
Yes,
somebody
He has.
tell me.
God has smiled.
Have He ever done anything
He
for
woke me
you?
up this morning.
Oh,
God has smiled on me.
I know He has.
God has smiled.
He smiled on me.
Welcome back. I just feel like singing that for some reason. I'm just so glad that you all have tuned in, and I'm excited about our new season of our show, and we're just trying to do an array of things, and we're going to bring some array of artists. And today we're talking about music. We have with us music mogul, our producer, owning his own label. We got Frank Prather. So Frank, we were talking about the business side before we went to break, and let's talk more about the business side, because a lot of times we don't think about the business side until it's too late.
Yes, sir. A lot of people, they get music out there. This is the first thing they do. They just want to record. So they they run and they record.
Excited, huh?
And then they get the CDs and they just go sell the CDs.
Okay.
But I understand that through the business side, you got to do your paperwork first. I tell everybody it's 99% paperwork and get your business in order, 1% singing.
Okay.
So what we do is we try to make sure if you don't even sign with me, I still will help you get your paperwork. Then we'll do the right paperwork, making sure you got your BMI, making sure you got everything copyrighted, and we make sure that you got your paper filled out for your BDS. Because a lot of people don't even know when you put your music on all the internet stations that you can actually be receiving your royalties and money off your internet station.
Oh, wow.
So I have a lot of people, they just dump music out there and don't know how to go back and get their money. But you have to fill out forms, your BDS forms and everything before you can get your money from anything. And because you might have a song out there and they got your paperwork, they might want to use your song in a commercial. So that's what we're working on now, how to get the songs in commercials, how to get in their movies, and all that plays a part of doing your paperwork right and getting everything out there right.
Well, Frank, it sounds like I'm ready to bring you back here for a workshop, you know?
Yes, sir.
And then that way we can educate the folks on about the business side of music. And because a lot of times, you know, people, as I said earlier, they find out about the business side a little too late.
Too late.
And as you say, you know, everybody excited about putting their music out there. And every time you put on YouTube, TikTok, I mean, you know, that could be money.
You can get paid for it.
You can get paid, and that's what they don't understand. Well, let's turn now to the pandemic. How has the pandemic shifted the way we do music? Because you're not able to do many concerts like you used to. You're not able to do promotions like you used to.
That's right.
So what are your artists doing on your label, or what are you doing to make sure that your artists continue to stay in the forefront?
They gonna come with a lot of streaming. We're gonna have to get with, a lot of people say they don't like to do streaming, but streaming is the best way to go right about now during the pandemic. You're gonna have to learn how to stream your music. You learn how to stream your music, get your followers up. Once you get your followers up and you can get a lot of people streaming that music, you can start to get paid for your music, and you don't even have to go on the road. And I learned that I'd rather just learn how to get radio and stream my music than I always go on the road, because sometimes it ain't as sweet it is on the road as you think it is. Sometimes you don't get all your money. So just really learn how to stream your music.
So you're saying streaming is the way to go?
Right now is the way to go, because everybody can't do concerts right now. I'm a big fan of concerts too, because I used to promote concerts. But when they tell you can't get but 50 people in the building, you lost out there. So you got to learn how to do another.
Absolutely. Well, now tell us more about your label. It's called Fruition Music.
Decipher Fruition Music.
Tell us more about that real quick.
It's a label. Like I said, God gave me a long time ago. Decipher Fruition. Everything shall come to pass. We're not only just doing artists, but we also have a clothing brand, Decipher Fruition Apparel.
So you do it with everything?
Yeah, we do it in everything. When God gave us a vision, He say not just music, but He say whatever it takes to get this brand and get this label out here, we're gonna do it. Cause you have to learn how to make your revenue from every. You gotta
more than one stream of income. I like that. I like that.
You got to learn.
Okay, now we're just about out of time. Tell us more about your single, Smile.
Well, my single Smile will be dropping this Friday, September the 3rd. Man, I'm excited. I feature Nashiki Green in this right here, and she was the first feature, because that's what I'm going to be doing as Lil Willie and Company. We're going to be doing features with Company. So I would like for everybody to go download this September the 3rd, 2021. That's this Friday. It will drop Thursday midnight at 12.
Okay, and give us your website.
My website is www.disciplesfruition.com. You can go on there. You can upload all the artists. You can go on there. You can get the clothes. Anything you want, we're going to have it on the website.
Okay. Well, we're about to wrap up this edition of our show. If you had to say something to encourage some young person who's listening to our show, what could Willie Frank say to encourage somebody on our show?
I would like to tell anybody, if you got a vision, I want you to learn how to stick with your vision, write the vision and make it plain, and it shall come to pass.
All right, well, you've heard it from Frank, and again, Frank, we thank you for being our guest on this edition of our show. Well, all right, well, we've heard it from Frank. He talked about music, telling you what you need to do. And again, we thank you for tuning in to this edition of our show. Well, listen, we're out of time, completely out of time. And again, I want to say thank you for tuning in. And remember, as always, I always like to give you something encouraging as we leave you. You be good to God, and He'll be good to you. And until next time, you be blessed.
He has set me free. He really been good. He's been good to me. God has, yes, He has smiled on me. He's been good to me. Can I get a witness right here?
I love the Lord. He heard my cry. He did every groan. As long as I live, when trouble rises, I'll hasten to His throne.
Smiled on me.
Brought me out of darkness into the marvelous light.
He surely been good.
Took me by my hand and led me.
Thanks to our sponsors. Today's show is being underwritten by
Legacy Funeral Home and Life Center offers an array of quality services, serving our community with compassion, care, dignity, and respect. We are dedicated to the value of compassionate funeral services and believe our first responsibility is to the families we serve. We guarantee our wide selection is unmatched, allowing you to customize a funeral ceremony or memorial tribute that truly captures your loved one's memory. Legacy takes pride in serving all families during their time of need. Let Legacy Funeral Home and Life Center help you leave a legacy well celebrated.
I've written a brand new book entitled An Encouraging Word, bringing you an encouraging word, letting you know that God is able. And I want you to be sure to support our show by picking up a copy of our brand new book just for you. And you'll be glad you did.